I don't know if any one of you have seen the TV series El Ministerio del Tiempo, the Ministry of Time in English. It's a Spanish TV series, very popular in Spain, with a wide and active fandom in social networks, especially on Twitter, which has led to it being the leading TV series in time shift viewing during its broadcast periods and on social television. It has developed a large-scale transmedia strategy, the largest ever in a television series in Spain, and it is broadcast from 2015 by La Uno, the first channel of Spanish national public television. There is currently preparing its fourth season, recently announced after a few years without news of renewal. It has international distribution since its third season by Netflix, who also participates in its production. El Ministerio del Tiempo narrates time travels of agents through doors under the command of the Ministry of Time, a secret organization of the Spanish government since the era of Isabel the Catholic. The main lead is nothing can change, history is history, and the non-historical facts must remain as we know them. The whole history of Spain is covered from prehistoric period to today. As a fantasy series, historical figures and facts are mixed with fantasy. And above all, El Ministerio del Tiempo stands out for combining reference to high and popular culture, from literature and painting to popular comedians and Eurovision Song Contest. When recreating a past era is required, particularly settled in before the photography, the use of painting as source of historical credibility in visual issue is mostly used. In this respect, El Ministerio del Tiempo is no an exception. Other TV series have used pictorial tradition to build up both past eras, as Baroque, some by cases such another TV series, La Peste, and imaginary worlds, as well as cinema has for decades. Today, there is a growing interest in taking care of aesthetic aspects in production of Spanish TV series, especially in pictorial matters. El Ministerio del Tiempo is a rare case in the panorama of Spanish TV series. The pictorial presence in El Ministerio del Tiempo is wide and varied, what gives a huge visual, aesthetic, and story technique richness. It includes painting references and reminiscences used as a model to recreate every area where main characters travel to. Moreover, pictorial topic permeates this TV series in other many levels, such as the Spanish Baroque painter Velázquez as a supporting character who works secretly like ministry official, as well as the presence of other painters and their canvas, with secondary presence makes sense in going through ministry train doors. The use of painting not only takes place in its first season. In the second one, it is expanded to make painting main topic in the episode, the 17th, and includes a pictorial reference in the title, Óleo sobre el tiempo in original in Spanish, which can be translated into English as oil painting on time. In this episode, the character travels to Madrid, a few days after the fire that destroyed the Alcázar, and some paintings by Velázquez were lost. And all this with the third season in the horizon, in which we can see other painting joining, Goya, in whose episode 25th is persuaded to paint La Maja Desnuda, the naked Maja, again because has been mysteriously destroyed in the present time On balance, el Ministerio del Tiempo uses painting in a rare way in Spanish TV series. All of these elements provide visual, aesthetic, and storytelling richness beyond visual level. They turn into picturesque artifacts that are connected with the Spanish cultural representation, from high to popular culture. Among all those resources, here we are going to approach the use of the living paintings in el Ministerio del Tiempo and its reflection on Spanish culture representation through the analysis of some televisual moments, in this sense, provided by two of the main Spanish painters in whole history, Velázquez and Goya. We are going to begin with the first two shots of the TV show. From the first shot, el Ministerio del Tiempo established a direct connection with painting. Here we are in Flanders in 1569, and here can be seen a recreation of the background landscape that Velázquez painted in The Surrender of Breda, for example. But here's only the beginning, there is more. We are talking about Velázquez and Goya, and Velázquez we are going to set everything about Las Meninas, mainly in Las Meninas. The significance of painting in Ministerio del Tiempo aesthetic conception is undeniable, but it goes beyond visual level and enters in other territories, like narrative that makes it into a noteworthy and atypical case. Hence, the pictorial presence in this TV series concerns to characters building, with a remarkable prominence of the supporting role of Velázquez, which makes possible to contrast his fictional nature with the vital information about the real one, Velázquez. The Ministerio del Tiempo has turned Velázquez into so one of a kind and unique character that he has transformed into a comical one. This has made him into one of the most loved characters of the show. Other aspect in the representation of Velázquez painting to be filming by the camera with the stunning recreation of Las Meninas in the first episode in only two shots, a first shot and its reverse shot. You have seen here Las Meninas in two shots, only two shots. The game, the game of glances is the key in this case. It's the key to understand what is happening in this moment. The first shot is Julian's, the man with beard, is the first shot, the younger, is a Julian point of view shot. His gaze goes from the left to the right, and it is the reverse shot from of the known only painting by Velázquez, as you can see in the left figure. The second one, the reverse shot of the previous one, belongs to the point of view of the painting, with the door open in front. the figure you can see on the right. Painting makes visual appearance of the pre-photograph possible, helps main character, Julian, a new agent, to believe that the Ministry of Time is real and time travels are possible. Before he has been shown, walking through a time travel door, how Romans were building the aqueduct of Segovia. He is deeply impressed when he looks from the second door and sees the room painted in Las Meninas. He can see the back of the characters, but they are as unique as they are recognizable. From the Princess Margarita to her palace servers and the dog. Also the own space spite of we are seeing them from the other side, from the door. Here, the living painting has a narrative use. It belongs to the story, but it is not a single aesthetic element. Although Velázquez is not here, the characters are waiting for him. From the reverse shot, the spectator can recognize the painting with no doubt. It is one of the most popular paintings in history of Spanish and universal painting. The shot is taken from the open door. We are Julián and Salvador Martí, main chair of ministry. The same position where in the painting is José Nieto Velázquez, assistant of the Queen. Ending first shot, let us note what Velázquez is painting. One of the greatest secrets in history of painting. He is painting Las Meninas as we know it. El Ministerio del Tiempo shows the spectator his point of view about the long life enigma that concerns Las Meninas. What is really painting Velázquez? He only let us see the back of the canvas. But there is an interesting play with a mirror that shows us, as spectators, what is supposed to be outside the field of action, the figure you can see on the right. Living paintings are usually used as reflexive mechanisms about visual elements, and here in Las Meninas, it is even a study about the representation of visible world and the way it is shown out to us. It makes to go beyond the transmission of resemblance, and it has successfully sought the representation of life of animation. This is made possible by a perfect mastery of perspective techniques with which he models as a space through the aerial perspective. The play of clarities and shadows generates an illusion of palpable space and volume. The distance of gradation of the flow of light allows the sensation of perspective and the space to be created. A space such has not have been created until then, real, through which the spectator can pass, and which at the same time plays with the duality of illusion and corporeality. The same sensation that Julián has been witnessing with the scene from the door. In this way, Las Meninas of El Ministerio del Tiempo, like a living painting and through the eyes of Julián, functions as Las Meninas by Velázquez, and the different points of view it brings together. And spectators will identify with Julián's gaze, but the way in which the camera runs through the painting in two single shots, just a few seconds, equating the pictorial work with its recreation in the series by the way in which it is approached the concept of representation of reality, what unites everything in the journey of the gaze. The single dialogue line by Salvador Martí at the ending of the last scene says, Velázquez is always late. This line introduces the Spanish painter, a character that a spectator will see later, but the most important it is that introduce his particular personality in the series. He works as eventual agent of the ministry with relevant roles in some missions, meeting, for example, Picasso or Goya. And painter, and he works as painter of robot portraits. Here we are going to have a look at a brief scene where we can see the character and the comical character that is in the series Velázquez.
Directamente porque no se lo voy a volver a repetir. Le prohíbo terminantemente que escriba cartas al director en ningún diario.
Ni en revistas especializadas.
Tampoco.
Están restaurando mal mis obras. Están demasiado iluminadas. Parecen una serie española de televisión.
No se aguanta.
Yo descubrí la perspectiva aérea. Me anticipé al impresionismo. Soy el gran Diego Velázquez.
Yo soy el gran jefe de este ministerio. Pero, mire, se ve claro. Ya le pasé que se pintara la cruz de Santiago en las meninas, pero ni una más.
¿Me dieron la cruz de Santiago?
Pero 3 años después de pintar el cuadro, cuando no tenía fuerza ni para sostener oficiales, hombre. ¿Qué se cree? ¿Que no sé que utilizó una de las puertas para pintarse la dichosa crucecita?
Llamada urgente desde Madrid, año 1940.
Está bien. Puede retirarse. Ni una más.
We have seen here Velázquez with the appearance in Las Meninas. Exactly the same. It's in a way, it is a living painting. His look is taken from his self-portrait in Las Meninas, so it can be seen as a living painting in some way. It includes the James Santiago cross in his chest that was painted in his self-portrait in Las Meninas by himself some years later. Although the legend tells that the cross was really painted by Philip IV, the King of Spain, when Velázquez was admitted in James' Knight Order. Here in El Ministerio del Tiempo, Velázquez is turned into a comical character. Stubborn, selfish, wanting to write to our magazines to alert about the valid restoration made to his paintings, getting into troubles, in risky situations, he passes out, he faints, etc.
Lentamente porque no se lo voy a volver a repetir.
And now we are going to talk about Goya in Ministerio del Tiempo. Far from Velázquez, in other moments, El Ministerio del Tiempo uses shots inspired by painting, which are reproduced conventionally by living painting. This creates a static and pictorial moment in the show, such as we can be seen about Los Fusilamientos del 2 de Mayo, the 3rd of May, 1808, in Madrid, by Goya, in episode 21. This is the first time living paintings inspired by Goya are used in the show. Let's have a look at this moment.
No, por Dios. No pidas clemencia. Si hay que morir, que sea con dignidad.
Here, you can see the 3 main agents of the TV series travel to the time of Napoleonic invasion to save one of the fathers of the first Spanish constitution. Here, the period portrayed by Goya coincides with what that's recreated by the series in this scene. The final shot composition and the staging are the same, as you can see. But the living painting makes a change from a night light scene in the painting, lighting only with a big candle square lighting source. It's turned into a daylight scene. Several single shots, short shots frame the living painting view. In this reframe in medium shots, close-ups and inserts, there are shown the Spanish heroes that are going to die, with the fear written in their faces, waiting for the last breathing moment, while French soldiers are ordered to load their weapons, aim and fire in some reverse shots. Finally, the master shot with the whole living painting is shown. Whole episode number 25, is visually and narrative inspired in Goya paintings. takes place in Goya's area, and the old painter is one of the characters. The living paintings lead a pictorial presence in the episode with many tableaux vivants, such as the meadow of San Isidro, as you can see here, or the blind man's bath, as you can see here too. We are going to have a look at both moments.
Mirad, la pradera de San Isidro, tal como Goya la pintó. Nadie miraba Madrid como él.
He's the first one.
Mirad.
And this is the second one, the same episode. All these living paintings shots are used with narrative purpose, not only as a mere aesthetic and pleasure activity, and at the same time they are intimately connected with the Spanish culture and the customs of the time that Goya embodied in many of his works. However, one of the most interesting moments of this episode is when they are recreate Goya black paintings as animated clip, which combines a lot of visual painting references is used to explain the origins of a dark secret society named El Ángel Exterminador, the Exterminating Angel.
Se trata de una sociedad secreta. Se hacían llamar el Ángel Exterminador. La leyenda se mezcla con la realidad, pero sabemos con certeza que fue un grupúsculo violento, de corte integrista y ultramontano. Pretendían acabar con todos los avances ilustrados y restaurar la Inquisición, valiéndose de cualquier método, extorsión, robo o asesinato.
Porque la causa de Dios os llama. Aplastad la perfidia liberal, que muera su libertad de pensar. Ruina de nuestra patria. ¡Viva Dios inmortal! ¡Viva! ¡Viva los viejos fueros! ¡Viva!
Pero eso no es lo más grave del asunto. El Ángel Exterminador no existía en aquella época. Fue fundada 20 años después, en 1821.
That's
Se trata de una sociedad secreta.
The moment. And background and shape fit together in a perfect way. Black paintings references to talk about a black and criminal society. Here, the sense of living paintings is literal. The dark dreams and nightmares painted by Goya come to life while Irene Larra, the young woman, voiceover narrates the whole history of this secret society and its criminal actions. The visual style of animation clip not only is inspired by black paintings as visual motifs, also in Goya's painting style with quick and furious brushstrokes. It is Goya in a complete way, not only in the surface. In this way, the entire episode 25 runs through Goya's artistic trajectory from the early luminous canvas to the most gloomy and dark at the end of his days in his black paintings. My final words are to set out some conclusions. In a TV series such El Ministerio del Tiempo, where its characters make travel to the past, visual recourse to painting becomes essential to recreate those times. However, its usefulness is not reduce the mere visual credibility. It has a purely narrative use that, in the case of living paintings, propose new readings and insights about them. Recreation with variations and do not suppose a disruptive circumstance in the visual and narrative matter. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.